I can. Here, now I can. So, Justin. All right. Welcome, everybody. What you talking about? Crystal's in the house. Welcome, everyone. Matthias. Good to see you guys. Peace. Casey's in the house. How you doing, brother? Thank you for the likes. Okay. Again with D2. These lives are killing me. Okay, slowly accumulating some people. Porsche, haven't seen you in a while. AI robots are in the house. Where's the AI robots? What's up, Punkish? Dragonfly, Marina. All right. Jean Hu. How are you, Crystal? Good to see you. No. Nowness fan. Damn, Mary Crystal. Okay. I think we're slowly gaining people pretty quickly on both on all the platforms. Welcome to Simulation Talk 157. We're on TikTok, Live, and YouTube, and X, and Twitch. We'll give it 1 more minute. Dirty Court, how are you? NLP. Isabella. Okay. I think we can start. Welcome to Simulation Talk 157. I don't know if there's a lag or not. Last time there was a bit of a lag. The internet here is not exactly always the most stable. Kelly, how you doing? Love the American flag. Brooke. Okay. So we're now on Simulation Talk 1. What's up, Jay? S 57. What's up, Dominique? Is it Matthew? Is that you? And Casey. Casey, are you both on TikTok and on YouTube? That's amazing. Awesome. Thank you, brother. Hello from New Orleans. This is a computed reality. What are we computing, and do we speed it up? Thanks. Computing the environment only. The outcomes in the agency are completely open-ended. Kane, how are you? Good to see you. Okay, so to all the newcomers, welcome to Simulation Talk 157. This channel mostly revolves around the simulation hypothesis. My name is Danny, and I'm claiming to have found proof that we live in a simulation, and we meet here almost every single day to discuss the phenomena, the implications, the experiments around it, as well as science in general, religion, spirituality, philosophy, God, whatever comes to mind. That's what we're here to discuss. If you are on TikTok and you want to see my longer format videos, please visit my YouTube channel, Dango Thoughts. It's DANGO Thoughts, which contain my longer version videos of all the stuff that you see on TikTok, as well as a membership program that allows you to Zoom call with me, with other members, and even in private, depending on the membership tier. Early access to all my content, and weekly lives aside from the daily lives that we're doing here almost every single day. Grateful Human is in the house. I haven't heard from you in a while. How you doing, man? How are you?
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly fine.
All right, I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing amazing, man.
Yeah, I was just thinking about this sort of space where the real meeting of the the breakdown of what reality is that you see behind that laser, the sort of that matrix, that simulation, the numerical binary system.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was thinking about like as we really get to that point, how important it is that the energy that we bring into that relationship, that it's a right kind of uh, energy, because we're touching creation at that point. And so when you get that close to creation itself, it's going to naturally create and resonate with the energy that's put within it. And so it's just very important that we think this thing through as soon as possible.
Yeah, I agree that the energy we bring into close to creation is a very important one, especially because the most people at the moment occupying pretty negative states very often. So I would agree with you. I really have no disagreement with that whatsoever. In fact, maybe this is why the space kind of asking a lot of people to maybe not come in at the moment sounds like that would make sense as to why certain people feeling this experience that the molecule space is asking them to stay away for a little bit just because there's some reformulation happening in that space. So what you're saying tracks?
Yeah, it's this whole choice thing and causality
Mm-hmm.
and being a cause and the degrees of cause that we can actually be. It's all very, very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And we have our individual sort of space that we occupy. We have our collective, and so we just have to choose awareness, I think,
Yeah,
consistently.
yeah. Awareness and love towards one another, and inner love
Yes,
and forgiveness for others and ourselves. These are super important.
yes, I think love is. I really love it as a concept because it's one of those things that it's like you don't really have to describe what it is. If someone is honest with themselves, they can kind of know what it really means. To be loving, to be kind.
Yeah,
Well, what is love? No, if you're being loving. So yeah, I love love.
I love love too, brother. That's beautiful words.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate the time to come up and chit chat with you. I always enjoy it, and uh, and yeah, man, you got to check out that one book I was talking about last time, The Art of Possibility.
Let me see.
It was about we talked about one of the little concepts being the
Yeah, well,
giving of
like
an
you
A.
yeah, you give people the frame to walk into. So how about we give
Exactly.
also reality a frame that it has the opportunity to walk into.
Exactly. And so we definitely, like you were saying, like loving ourselves, forgiving ourselves, and being loving and kind to others. That's what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing the best in others and bringing that resonating there, creation wise,
Yeah, yeah, it's
cause
amazing.
wise.
Incredible, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we missed you the other nights. I was coming on a little bit earlier. Ebony, how are you? Good to see you. And then we were talking here with Brian and some other people with some fun discussions. We were missing in these discussions, but I'm glad you're on again.
Yeah. I kind of try to, you know, intuition. I think is one of the most important sort of qualities to develop because it it gives us a certain freedom outside of overanalyzing or just being within the analytical mind. It gives us sort of access to the space of just being what is called for in the moment, you know?
Yeah.
Intuition. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they both have a role, but I agree with you overall.
Yeah, I mean, we do have to bring the analytical to a situation, and we want to have good intention behind it. But ultimately, sometimes the next best thing might not make as much sense from an analytical perspective, but the next best thing is to act in a certain way that you really can only know in that moment.
Yeah, that is the deepest intuition, I guess, of what the present moment asks us to in, bring into that present moment. I agree with that. It's almost like the intuition of the soul, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. And I think that ultimately we all kind of know deep inside, and a lot of the times, the tools that we have, like the mind, can obscure some of that intuition. But also sometimes the intuition can be based on previous misconceptions, like fears and things like this. And it's important to know when the intuition comes from a deeper place and when the intuition comes from um, a limited place, which can also happen, by the way.
Yeah, I've heard people say about intuition. I'm trying to remember. They say, well, if it makes you feel scared and maybe your chest tightens, that's not intuition. If it makes you feel peaceful uh, and your shoulders loosen, yeah, that's intuition. So there's little ways to sort of connect it to the body. I guess some ideas out there, but this type of intuition, it's so well connected to objective reality that you can kind of know. You know what I mean? Like, because we can analyze reality and we can kind of feel through what we are bringing to that space and moment, what we're creating,
Mm-hmm.
and we can kind of choose. And so we can still see reality, is what I'm trying to say. Whereas most people have this idea about intuition for where it's kind of like foggy or hazy. And I'm saying that if we are really present, it's not hazy at all. It's the opposite. It's very, very clear.
Yeah. However, I would say that sometimes intuition can also give you the other feeling, which is kind of like, intuition about the situation or a person that tells you there's potential danger. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just tells you something that you like according to your trajectory, you gotta maybe make a different decision right now. That's also important.
Yeah, well, have you heard of the way that Buddha um, ended up passing?
How Buddha ended up passing?
Yes.
As far as I know,
I
according to the stories, the Buddha basically took his last breath under the same tree that he was born, under the same tree that he took the first breath.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but I heard a story where he had eaten from he was fed a meal, and the meal had a certain plant that was poisonous in it, and and he knew that if he ate this meal, he was going to be poisoned,
Hmm.
and he ate it anyway. And so I sometimes think about that um, because he was in that flow of intuition, and one might say, well, hold on a second, like, don't eat it if you know that it's poisonous. But I don't know. He intuition.
So you're saying that that's how he chose to go?
Yeah, I know that is one version. I was hoping you were maybe gonna Google real quick or something, but
No, I'm just making sure because there's all kinds of. It says that according to the Buddhist tradition, Siddhartha Gautama, which is Buddha, died from illness in Kushinagar, which is, I guess, where he was at that time. It says the nature of the illness is unclear, but some say he ate tainted pork or a mushroom, which led to pig bill and necrosis and enteritis. Wow, terrible. And
Yeah.
final release from conditions existence. Yeah, he well, depending on what,
He probably would have known.
not necessarily. He wasn't a god. He never claimed to be a god. And nobody. He's considered a teacher, not a god. But according to some beliefs, he also just basically chose. Like he knew that that's going to be the last breath that is going to be taken, and he literally just chose to go away. Like at that level, you just choose how you go. But I think this is the more. I think you're right. I think this is the more traditional, accepted story. So we can accept that. What is the value of the story to you?
Well, the value that I was making was that I was pointing to the state of balanced intuition that he was within
Mm-hmm.
and sort of alignment, so to speak, and how within that state, having a real awareness of what's actually going on and still making choices that might seem contrary to what we would imagine one who really can see everything would make. And so, it just reminds me to cultivate a certain degree of aligned intuition so that I can have access to more possibilities in a given situation.
That's beautiful. I love that. Also, yeah, Ebony, I know some people sent me the Jesse Michaels. It was mentioned on the laser stuff was mentioned on his channel. That's cool. And I actually met somebody today who knows him. What are the chances? So
Hey, well, man, I don't want to hog up all the time, but
you're
like I
not.
say,
I love when you're up.
I
Thank
always
you.
appreciate chatting with you. It's a really, really high level energy that pretty nice ideas can flow through easily, and so I appreciate the space you give.
I appreciate you, man, and I appreciate the kind words. It means a lot.
All right, we'll catch up soon. Have a
Okay.
good rest of the night.
You too, brother. Have a good night.
Bye.
Rio saying, then how would you suppose we can observe the characters sober and or technologically? I'm not sure, but I have a few assumptions. There's a few different kinds of cameras that we're going to try: multispectral, multifocal, and some other multi abilities of different cameras. Maybe a combination of some of those. So we'll see. Maybe it has something to do with bringing our brain to a certain frequency level that we're not familiar with, like how to do it exactly. Jesse 20. Yeah, no, he's. I think the American Alchemist is. It's a much bigger channel, no. The Jesse, his private channel with the podcast, I think, has less followers. It's his less a smaller channel. That's dummy. I think it's. Let's see. I can tell you exactly. American Alchemist. Oh, it's the same channel. For some reason, I thought this channel was way bigger. I thought it was kind of like the same size as Danny Jones, like 1 million followers. That's still very, very good. Amazing. See if I'm missing anything. To behold, no. Artica is asking me Russian if I'm cold. No, but we have a dog that might have to go uh, number two outside quickly, and if so, I have to be able to just get up and get her out. And it's pretty chilly outside. Sup, Lisa and Liz. I think it has more to do with the actual physical results of the molecule. Sure, which I think one of them is to basically bring some of our vibration to a higher frequency, like our brains, and to bring it to a more computational steps level. So the laser type, it's not a type, it's what the laser has to be is diffracted, and it has to be 1 to 5 milliwatts, no more than that, because otherwise you're going to do some cornea damage. So it has to be diffracted, preferably red, so preferably 650 nanometers. But you can do other frequencies. It's just that 650 is the lowest frequency, which makes it easier to spend some time with it without really being worried about damage to your eyes. So we have a member meeting on Friday. Is it actually 1 hour long, or does it tend to go over that? I mean, we go with the flow, but I think we'll keep it to an hour this round because this Friday I have quite a few things. Hold on. Let me also make sure that my internet is being a little weird today, so you guys will excuse me. Oh, so no, you're talking about. Oh yeah, members meeting. I thought you said management meeting for some reason. I don't know, my brain did. No. It's a lot more than I thought you were talking about the management meeting. Those would definitely be 1 hour. The members is definitely just going on till we're done. So I usually allocate 2 or 3 hours for it. And anybody wants to join that meeting, feel free to join the membership program on YouTube. You have to register for at least from the second tier up, from the I think it's personal or family. I forget which one is the second. Whatever says on it that it includes the Zoom calls with members, and you can enjoy our beautiful conversation that we have once a month, and we have pretty good ones. It was a lot of fun the last few that we did. It is Monday, yeah, Tuesday already, but we're Friday is the meeting that we're doing for the members. Full length documentary is going to take a while. It's going to be a few months. So the code looks like a matrix code, forms horizontal or diagonal. Neither. It's moving across all axes, and it's moving both in the z axis, z dimension, x, y, and z. So not really moving this way or that way. It's moving in all kinds of axes. It's rotating. It's going around columns, and also switching in one spot at the same time. And no, it's not a binary code at all. It looks more like Japanese and mixed up with some Hebrew. Kind of upper body stuff do you do these days? You did quite a good job on American Ninja Warrior. Yeah, I haven't done that stuff in a very long time. Don't do too much recently. Some basic things, pull-ups, just keep in shape in general. I used to do pretty hardcore training most of my life. Recently, I've had a lot of different kind of things that I've been focusing on. So, unfortunately, hardcore training had to take the back seat. I think I might pick up something soon. Maybe go back to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or something. But all that stuff with that I was doing with parkour and American Ninja Warrior and all that stuff, that's it definitely takes a toll on your body, which in later years you start to feel. So I'm much more mindful as to how I move my body and much more gentle with it. But thank you for asking. As well, does the laser specifically need to be on color red? Doesn't necessarily have to be, Denzo. It helps because it's the lowest frequency, so you have running a much smaller risk of doing any damage to your eyes. Matrix includes Japanese and Hebrew as well as no. Yeah, the Matrix code does not include Hebrew, only Japanese. It's a sushi menu. But I don't actually think that the code we see in the laser is any of those things. It's not Japanese and it's not Hebrew. I believe it resembles these, but it is definitely not none of those. It looks more like an alien language. Yeah, those were the days. I think you can still Google it, Danny Gold or American Ninja Warrior. You'll find it. It's an old clip. I think there's another one of the finals spinning around somewhere, but I can't really find it. Anyone try to manipulate code with a powerful magnetic field? Not yet, but that's in the plan. I've submitted that paper recently, so good thinking. Awesome article. Ruski. No, American, not Ruski. Have you ever attempted to draw one of the symbols circular shape? You can join our Discord, Michael. There's quite a bit information there, including all of these things. And Ebony here actually drew some pretty good representations of those. You can find the link to our Discord on my YouTube channel on the top, and please join us. There's quite a lot of that information and these questions answered there. Russian language is the code? No, definitely not. Have you compared the text being seen to the text Danny Sheehan copied from the government docs? I don't think they're the same. I know it was mentioned today on Jesse Michael's podcast, but I don't think it's the same language, at least from what I've seen on the presentations. How are you all? One? Indeed. Join our Discord. God code. What's up, Rachel? Would you guess the code would be in the whole of space and the laser reveals it off an object? Yeah, that's exactly where things are going on. What I saw is the Jesse Michael video did not look like the code. What Danny Shia was writing was different. There you go. And Ebony have seen the code and actually created one of the best representations of the code, if I have to be honest. Do you know if the laser frequency you found out may have some therapeutic function if projected on a human body? It's very close to the one that we use as a red light therapy. So maybe. I think red light therapy is like 663 or something. Would you guess the code would be in the whole... Oh, we just read that. Top of my Brighton. Hope you're feeling okay. Great and grateful we are as well. How long lasers shine on a human... wait. No, you definitely don't project the laser into your eye. You project it on the surface. But even then, if you use too high of a frequency for too long, if you're just looking at a projection of a laser that is projected on a wall, you can still do some cornea damage. Definitely do not project it into your eye. What is the name in the thumbnail? It kind of looks like it but it's not. It represents looking at the laser. You're not projecting the laser on your eye. What is the name of the planet between Saturn and Neptune? Nice. See what you did there. Glasses for protection you can use for over what am I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? Of a range. Don't use the one that matches the exact frequency, because then you're not going to see anything basically. Most commonly used wavelengths are 630 to 660, 850 for red light therapy. 850. Are you sure? Because 850 is beyond the visible light, and red light therapy is definitely visible. Are you certain? Let's see. Is 850 used in? That's infrared red light therapy. Oh, it says yes. It's close to infrared wavelength that penetrates deeper into the skin compared to visible red light 660, often used in combination with it to achieve a wider range of benefits like improved blood circulation and muscle recovery, making it a key component in many red light therapy devices. Amazing. Good snipering, Ebony. Learn something every day. I did not know that. Getting slightly better. Good to hear, my Brighton. How much longer for full recovery? Maybe you can use red light therapy. And I'm not kidding, I'm being serious. Is your main goal to find a way to decipher the code? No, actually, no. A lot of people are interested in that. At the moment, I'm really not that interested in that. Simply because I don't think it's doable at the moment. Like I always say, I'm happy to be proven wrong, but something tells me that's not in the cards anytime soon. I'm interested to see if we can create any perturbation that will show us a discernible change to the behavior of the code at the moment. But again, if somebody can figure this out and start deciphering it, I'm all ears. That would be amazing. Definitely look up and watch a video of you are planning on trying this. Do not look into it later. Exactly. Have you tried to analyze the code in HD recording of the laser beam? It would be interesting if the same code appears every time you play the recording. So the code will never repeat itself, which is interesting. It seems like the recording will still show what the code is showing currently in that laser, because I think the code is running for your perception of it as well. So it has to be showing what it has to be showing in that instance. 669. Hey Dan, I have a burning question. What's your take on esoteric subjects? Freemasons, floods, Jesus. We're living in a fantasy. I mean, all of those are very big subjects. Freemasons are the original scientists. Floods, I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you mean by ends of worlds, I'm sure they happened many times before. Jesus, as the exemplar of Jesus, was one of the most incredible humans to have ever lived. And I've seen in the space that the function of Jesus, or for all intents and purposes, Jesus Christ, was a real person and a real thing. Make of it what you will, but I was never a religious person, but this is something that I observed in hyperspace. And we're living in a fantasy. It depends what you mean by the word fantasy. For example, for creating matter. Yeah, you should give it a go, my Brighton, because it's been proven to work quite a bit. We are the code. Yes, we are. Good morning, Dan. A quote from your ex. Find the delta and you'll find the answer. It must be the most universal ratio. I really like it. Thank you, John. I appreciate it. This thing came to me in one piece. And what's crazy is that it had no typos, which is insane because I actually have like real dyslexia. So that was unfathomable that it's not going to have any typos. So like I felt a strong impulse to write. I wrote as fast as I could, and then I put it into ChatGPT to check for typos, and it said there are no typos. And I said, "What? That's impossible." And I figured, okay, that's definitely a sign to to post this on X. Oh, Ebony just gifted 5 more people memberships. Ebony, as always, you're amazing. Thank you so much. If you guys don't know, Ebony and a few other people are in the habit of gifting memberships every once in a while. They do it on randomly, but they do it quite a bit. Her and Ben and Chris, I'm deeply grateful to you, and also grateful to all the members that already joined by themselves as well, because it definitely helps the channel to grow and me do this more full time. So if you feel inclined, please go to YouTube to Dango Thoughts, join our membership program. It will give you quite a few benefits, and it will help me focus on this more full time. And tomorrow we have a membership meeting to all the people that are second tier and up. I think it is, but verify. Make sure that you read the fine print. It says what it includes. The one that includes the Zoom calls. Tomorrow we have a Zoom call with the members on that level. MZ Tag says, "I need a membership. Please join us." And after you join, if you join from the correct tier from Zoom, please email me with the first words "new member," and then the tier of your membership, and then your handle in the title of the email, so I can immediately categorize you and send you an invite for the Zoom call. So appreciate you if you join. And Ebony, once again, thank you so much. This reality is the code. The light just reveals its base nature. I would say that's correct. We'd need some accredited linguists willing to do the experiment. How hard would that be? I don't think it has anything to do with being a linguist. I think there's just too much information for the human brain to decipher in real time. We need to find a device that can record these, I think. That's the only way. Have you heard about instances of the entities reacting to when people say Jesus' name? No, great question. Never heard that before. Oh, and if you feel inclined, by the way, if you want to help our Twitch channel, also, Twitch is LaserX83. LaserX83. Please go to our Twitch and follow from there, because the more people I have on average on the lives, it will eventually allow me to keep the lives even after they're done on Twitch, which will help the channel grow there as well. So if you feel inclined, or if you have Twitch, please follow me on Twitch on LaserX83. And you can also follow the chat from there if the reception is pretty good. Crystal is saying Neuralink. Yes, I agree. Eventually with Neuralink, we'll be able to do just that. Just too lazy. The Jesus thing, I've experienced it, and although I grew up Catholic, I am no longer practicing. Yeah, that also happens in the other direction. So again, that's a great comment. Dash Vegas 7777. I've never thought of that, but no, I don't think I've ever seen anybody react to the name. Also, I've never uttered the name in that space. Maybe something to try. Does the code serve as a mirror to our fleeting thoughts, or does it fundamentally shape the reality we experience, akin to the Matrix? I think the latter. In the case of this code, Lawrence, there is a layer of a code that codes more for your experience. This code seems to be coding for the physical reality. A group of remote viewers have been saying we live in a prison planet and our souls are entrapped here. What's your take on this? I disagree with that. I think that all thought patterns that insist that we live in some kind of a deeply negative state, all they do is they perpetuate that negative state. That's my take on it. And if you feel inclined, please like the live, no matter what platform you're on. You're on TikTok, on YouTube, Twitch, or X. Press that like button. It definitely helps the algorithm quite a bit. How are you, Halloween Mike? 12 years of Catholic school. It is whether the code appears to us as symbols at all. It means our perception may not be that complex because code is of a high level. Code is of a high level, but it apparently needs to be recognized by beings on certain levels, which is why it has a symbolic representation, I believe. Doing so great. You about to get off here and have a fire. 2 friends. Awesome. What are you guys doing? Like a campfire? Or what are you guys doing? Tell you about plasma. What would you like to know about plasma? Do you know Daniel Mims or something? A guy who made cameras lenses needed to capture a picture of dimensions. No, not familiar. Sounds awesome. That's too general for me. Plasma dragon. Plasma is a vast topic. So if you ask me a specific question, we can talk about it. Good to see you as well, Halloween Mike. If you can try a sound frequency. Yeah, sound frequency seems to not change the code, but it does allow you to hear the inside of the code if you play it in headphones. That's interesting. Jesus was opposed to religion. All I know is that with heartfelt prayer, I get answers to prayers. It's like universal communication links. It sounds about right. You're familiar with Jacobo Greenberg's synthetic theory? I feel like there's some overlapping data here. So the more I look into it, I'm not so sure, Ebony, but I'm going to finish watching that documentary that I told you about, and then I'll tell you what I think. Is there a way for us to know ahead of time when you'll be live of these meetings? Do you post a schedule announcement somewhere? I wish I could. At the moment, my days are a little crazy and hectic. Eventually, we'll balance out, and I'll be able to post about the lives in advance. Good question. I think that would definitely be better for everybody involved, for me as well. Have I ever tried Ibogaine? No, never did, actually. But I hear incredible things. If it were me, I would try to introduce different sound frequencies into the light. Like I said, it doesn't seem to be making a difference. It doesn't seem to be of that kind of a phenomena with the sound frequency. So okay, haven't seen Jesus in the molecule realms, but I've seen Isis and Buddha and other beings. That is interesting. Have I tried intersecting the beams? Yeah, the beams don't really mix unless you align them exactly. Because they're tight. You really gotta align all of them like perfectly. Simon is saying, can you give me some elaboration on your X post from today and speak about the mention of horizon and delta in universal ratio? Sure, good to see you, Simon. The post that I made on X, you guys can follow me on X, which is the handle is Goler Danny. So the opposite of Danny Goler, which is on TikTok and Instagram. It's Goler Danny on X. And the post that I made is the one that I just kind of all wrote in one piece. Essentially, the idea there is that I realized that the only way to describe a world in absolute universal terms is through a model that would include the observer. And then if you think about it from that perspective, the only way to create a universal scale, it would have to include some parameters of the world and the observer, and as the world appears to the observer, that will always be there no matter who the observer, where the observer, or how the observer is made. So two parameters that the observer will always have, no matter what. The observer will always have a form of complexity, and it would have a defined finite complexity, simply because it would have to be, if it is an observer that can define itself as an observer, it has some bounding parameters. Otherwise, it would not be able to define itself as an observer. And these defining parameters would be based on both the environment in which the observer arises and the way that the observer defines themselves in terms of whatever parameters they're using. But we can calculate a number. So, for example, in integrated information theory, you have a number called phi, which, if I'm not mistaken, takes into account the complexity of the network in relationship to the number of nodes that exhibit back propagation. I'm not sure that it's exactly how they calculate it. I think that the actual formula is a little bit more complicated than that, but they give it a number which is called phi. But it just shows you that you can kind of calculate the potential. You can give level of consciousness a certain number. So it can be something like phi. This is why I used a more universal kind of like one postulation of complexity, but obviously it will be a lot more complicated than that. So if we can parameterize the observer by, and the way I'm defining complexity is here is how many degrees of freedom that observer can interact with their internal and external environment with. If you can give this a number, I have a strong intuition that if you divide that number, in other words, find the ratio, the delta, the difference between that number and the horizon to which the observer will be able to see. And that, by the way, that will also always be a constant for every observer. So you would have a certain horizon, and it doesn't matter the dimensions that you're postulating here. So if it's in the physical realm for us, there's a physical horizon. If you're thinking about the mental space, then you have the mental horizon, how far you can see mentally. And this can also gain a number by the distance from the observer as defined by the space that you're operating in. So, for example, in the case of conceptual, it would be mathematically. So, in the case of us in our universe, mathematically, it will be the Planck scale. That will be the horizon. Because beyond that, the tool you're using breaks down or is no longer effective because you start getting probabilities that are more than 100%. So the tool that you're trying to measure with hits its own boundary, which would be the horizon. And then even spiritually, you will be able to potentially calculate a number that has to do with how much level of awareness of your totality you can exhibit from the central core of the observer. All of these should, if I'm right, consistently produce the same number. So you would have the level of complexity physically, and the difference, the delta between that and the physical horizon, the level of complexity conceptually, so mentally, and then we can talk about how we can define a number for mental complexity, and then you would have to see what is the different horizon conceptually, like mathematically, like excuse my brain, please, uh, um, the Planck scale, and spiritually, again, spiritual complexity as measured against the spiritual horizon in that instance as that being perceives. If I'm right, you're going to have this golden ratio that will always be the same. And if it is the same for all of these different parameters to all the different observers of all the different scales of all the different complexities, then you have something very, very, very fundamental, and it will always be there, no matter how large, small, complex, or simple the observer is. And no matter what environment they occupy, they will always have these parameters. That's why I think that ratio is universal. And all these numbers can actually be calculated. It's just it's going to take a lot of work. So something I just felt like it needs to be out there and needs to be thought about. So that was the idea. And somebody pointed out to me yesterday that they feel like that's too complex of an idea and they shouldn't be posting things like this because it's going to make some people feel stupid. I don't think that's true at all. I said that I don't mind trying to simplify the idea and maybe post another post, expressing that with simpler words. But it is how it came out, and I wanted to stay loyal to how it sounded in my brain. So that's what I put out. You can check it out in Goal Danny on X. So possible that each level of consciousness is like a coordination in a specific dimension. Essentially, yes. Thank you so much for sharing the knowledge, blessing, kindness, gratitude, and much love. Much love to you as well. Thank you, Mind Shrooms. Since everything is inside, we observe what is inside of us, and each one sees his reality. Yeah, but there's also an external reality, I would say. Not the same as drinking, no. Also, thank you so much for Mind Shrooms for becoming a member. Let me see what comments I've missed. I am the red laser guy. Who is the observer? That is a good question. Life comes based on reality instead of materialism. Well, it's not based on anything. So this model is supposed to be substrate free. If this is correct, then it won't matter if you're what you would call physical, mental, spiritual, makes no difference whatsoever. There is a set of parameters by which the observer is defined and or self-defines, and there's a set of parameters that gives rise to what that observer calls their external environment. And that external environment would have parameters that could be measured that either are exactly like distance or equivalent to what we would call distance. And you can measure these according to different degrees of freedom. But all of these parameters will always be present no matter what kind of observer that is. Dimensions under construction, that's really funny. Documentary we're working on, you can check out the trailer for that on Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts on YouTube. Hearing the code, it kind of produces this almost like you can hear the space when you listen to a frequency like 42 hertz, 110 hertz. If you listen to that and you look at the laser while you're on the molecule, you should be able to hear like a big space inside. Please do not use mirrors, guys. For the millionth time, do not play with mirrors because you're going to get a laser in your eye. Please don't do it. I think it should be pretty obvious. A laser plus a mirror means bouncing almost all the light back or sideways, and then there's a good chance you're going to get that laser right in your eyeball. Do I do these discussions often? Here, almost every single day. And welcome, Diesel. Diesel Black, welcome here. I'm here almost every single day. And usually I'm of a much higher energy. Today I'm just a little bit tired towards the end of the day. Red light, can you describe how it looks more? Thank you, Ebony. I appreciate you. I know you got me, and I feel very gotten. Appreciate you. Trying to go through the comments as fast as I can. Phi, the golden ratio? No, it's a different phi, Simon. It's look up IIT, Integrated Information Theory. Giulio Tononi and Christian Koch. They originated it, but now it took a life of its own. So integrated information theory, and you can read about their number phi, which basically predicts the level of consciousness of a system. So it's a very technical paper, very technical framework. But that's just one example of how you can potentially parameterize a consciousness. It's a different phi. What's up, Miller? Phi delta of the horizon is the center of each individual perspective. Can you guys see me? Yeah, the internet here is going whack. You gotta mischief. Madruach. Where can I find you talk about the external reality? I'm working on a video that talks about my perception in the higher space. So I guess that would definitely fit the bill. Next time, Denzo. All one. Approximately how long does the molecule's effect persist, allowing for visualization of the code? The code you can probably see for about 20 minutes or so under the molecule. If you want to know more about how to do the experiment, you can go to codeofreality.com. Codeofreality.com. I'll put it on the board right here. And you have the protocol there, including all the stuff you need in the laser. The cat enjoys the stream. Cut out right when you answered my last question. What was your last question? Remind me, please, Simon. Maybe it was a sign. There's too much information. Oh, you were talking about the phi? Yeah, so the phi delta ratio means, yeah, phi nice. Phi delta ratio, the delta between the phi and the horizon, well, not necessarily between the phi, but just like whatever number we're going to come up with to represent the observer, its complexity, how many degrees of freedom, and the ratio between that and the horizon should give you a universal ratio of something about how far each observer can cast their world model in the space that they occupy according to their complexity. And I think that will give us some kind of a hint as to what causes all different facets of reality to appear a certain way. A few days back, as I traveled back in the UK, all about meditation, the right ways and wrong ways. Very interesting. Appreciate you, man, Brighton. Okay, guys, I think creating honeycombs like lettuce, what do you intuit? It's made of light, love, and information. Guys, apologies. I think my brain is like checking out as I'm talking to you. So I think I'm going to adjourn for tonight. I love you all. Thank you. If you want to follow me across platforms, it will be Danny Goller on TikTok and Instagram. You'll be LaserX83 on Twitch. You'll be Goller Danny on X. Again, it's Goller Danny on X. And Dango Thoughts on YouTube. DANGO Thoughts on YouTube. And please join our membership program. It will help me focus on this project more full time. Tomorrow we have a membership program, monthly Zoom. So if you're going to join second tier and up, I believe it is. But again, read what it says, the one that includes the Zoom calls. Please make sure that you read that. And then email me right away with the words new member in the title and then the tier of your membership and then the handle, so I can add you to the list and send you an invite right away. It's going to be tomorrow morning in LA. As well, it will give you early access to all the videos that I'm posting, and it will give you weekly lives aside from the daily lives for members only, and private stuff for my life that will be added very, very, very soon. Aside from that, if you want to know more about the project, visit codeofreality.com. And if you want to contribute to our film, either follow the link tree in the description on TikTok and to contribute to our GoFundMe, or watch the trailer on YouTube on Dango Thoughts. And in the description of the video, you do have our GoFundMe link in which you can help contribute to the film. I think that's everything I have in my mind at the moment to say. As you can see, my brain is like checking out. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for being a part of the community. Thank you for all the members that already joined. Thank you for all the people that are contributing their beautiful time, like Ebony and Ben and Chris, and also contributing their hard-won money to donate memberships to other people to help the community grow. And now it's my job to help retain as many members as possible so we keep growing. Thank you so much, everybody. Much love. Peace and love. Ciao. I'll see you tomorrow. See you guys. Much love.